What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Edge today, definitive. It is the third day of January in this brand new year of 2026, and here we are sitting at about 14.7 cents right now with a massive 51% pump today. You're up like 70% from the low you had 2 days ago. Absolutely massive. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. This is the largest move we've seen to the upside or to the downside in a very long time. It's the largest amount of volume that we've had in a very long time as well, since October, you guys. So big moves are happening here. It's as though what happened was we had this large kind of consolidation, sideways, slow moving down channel. We had some volume come in, and that picked up the price to the downside. We have a lot more volume in one day here. This is a larger spike for sure, but relative to the 3 days of volume we had here, this is still probably a lesser total sum than what we experienced in those 3 days. What I'm trying to get at here is that there is seller exhaustion. It's gone. We have no volume at all. A little bit of selling pressure stepped in here, but it was also some of the least that we've seen on a daily basis, from here in recent history, and then zooming out as well. There's very low selling pressure. Whenever all the sellers are gone, or when there's very minimal sellers, there's only buyers left. It's very easy to move the price up. And exactly that phrase is exactly what we're seeing here, right? Over the past 3 days, from the low, we've moved up a tremendous amount. In this one day, we've moved up more than we dropped over these 3 days. And over these 3 days, we had more volume than we do today. That's all I'm saying. It takes less volume to move the price up. There's very low volume environments right now. So this reaction could set off a chain reaction that thus builds this price to dramatically higher prices. And we might even see days where, you're up 52% today. Maybe tomorrow you're up 100%. This is crypto. You never know. Things can go ballistic in a very short amount of time. With that being said, I'm not really expecting too much excitement across the markets between now and like the end of January. I think the end of January will promote some excitement. So with that being said, it's very possible as well, this is crypto, that this is just a volatile pump and then we come back down. I would expect, and I do expect, that we probably do find turbulence at some point here. But is it here at 14.8 cents? Do we go all the way up to these highs here at 18 cents? I mean, 14.8 cents to 18.5 cents. That's a big difference. That's a huge amount. Even in just a 1 day time, we could be up there. But at any point, I kind of do expect we'll see some type of a pullback. I doubt that we go back down to these lows. But we've seen crazy pumps before that result in dumps. We've seen this happen before that resulted in a dump. I'm not saying that I think we're going to dump down and go lower. It's possible, but more so I'm just saying I don't think that we're on this rocket ship that's going to burst through the stratosphere all in one go. We've got a very large downtrend that we've been forming, that we're still in technically since August of 2025. I don't think it ends that easily. We're going to see some structure going through, and then once we're at the top point here, that's whenever that escape velocity move comes in. And that could be months away. Anyways, that's the whole plot. Let's look at the short-term stuff, and then we'll zoom out from there. A lot of volume coming in, looking good here. A little bit less volume over the past couple of hours, and that's fine, right? We're at a little bit of a standstill as well. So again, the idea that maybe we do taper off kind of comes to mind. Nothing really to go off of with the 1-hour indicators. Everything looks bullish as hell. Same thing with the 4-hour. There's no divergences, nothing really to go over. I mean, you look really strong. Your RSI is at a 93. That's something to consider. I mean, your strongest moves happen here, so don't fade that. Just because we're at a 93 doesn't mean we can't go higher. But we are at a 93. There will be repercussions pretty soon. I don't think that we go through, let's see. I would think that this holds a support. I would think this level holds a support. We don't go below 12 cents, or if we do, we don't go too much below 12 cents. 11.8 cents would hold a support. But I wouldn't be surprised in the least if we did return to prices that were below 13 cents at some point before pressing on too much higher. But with that being said, again, we're all over the place here. We're in the middle of this move right now. It's like catching a knife but to the opposite direction. We could pump all the way up to 18 cents and then come back down to levels that are lower than this. It can be very volatile. We can do it all in an 8-hour period like we did here. It can happen in a very short amount of time. Let's look at the daily stuff. We'll zoom back out. I'm going to put on some fibs and just see if we can determine anything. Because right here where we are, this is kind of a support zone. Kind of a support zone here as well. Resistance right there. It might make sense to get tied up right here, right now. I want to see if that lines up with any fibs. Or do we make sense out of going higher? We're right at the 236. I mean, it's pretty perfect. Right in the realm of this. I don't know if anybody caught the video that I made recently too. was like last week or 2 weeks ago, where I was talking about how if you draw the consolidation phase, if you like draw a line of best fit and you get the apex, it's typically right there at that point, that little focal point right there. That's where you find resistance, and it all lines up. There's a lot of significant areas of resistance to consider right around this 15 cent area. Let's say 15.3, 15.2. So a little bit higher, sure, but I bet we do find turbulence pretty soon. And we likely would pull back to something that's around 12 cents. Okay? So don't FOMO here, but damn it, it's exciting. It's good to see. Looking at the daily time frame, looking at the RSI, very bullish beginnings here. Stochastics are far away from the orange line, so probably chill a little bit. The MACD is building some bullish divergence as well. I think you've got a lot of good stuff coming your way in February. What's Edge's... what's the market cap? Let's just see. 30 million. I mean, you've got a lot of potential here, man. This thing could 100x. It could multi-100x. There's a lot of potential here. And while the rest of the market is boring, we're up 5% barely this week. Edge is up so much today. In the course of all this turmoil and the volume coming in, some excitement being found here, this could be a precursor to greater things to come in the future. That's all I'm trying to say. From the current price, talking about those greater things, whenever it is time to see new all-time highs, and I think you will get there, the minimum assumed target is the 1272, and that's at about $1.71, which is roughly an 11x from here. That's your, I'll say it again, minimum target. We're thinking a little bit more midterm here. This could be end of February, March, maybe April, right? That's kind of the timeline I'm working with. I don't think we'll be, I mean, I do think we'll be probably higher than we are now by the end of January, but I don't think we're going to make too many. We're not going to teleport. It's not going to be the end of January and we're all the way up here. You know what I mean? I don't think that we'll be too far away from where we are now, but probably a little bit higher, maybe around 20 cents, 25 cents. But going into February, end of February, March, maybe even April, $1.74 would be the minimum target that I assume we achieve. To potentially a 26x, which is crazy. I know. This is crypto. Crazy things happen, especially when we're in oversold conditions like we are. $3.92. That's a 26 to an 11x potential. That doesn't mean that I think we're either going to do a 26x or an 11x. Anything in between is possible. But that's the general area that I expect. $1.73 to $3.92. We'll say $1.75 to $4, somewhere in there. We're at 15 cents now with a likely chance to pull back below 13 cents at some point, probably around 12 cents. Those X's, those multiples of growth only go up, right? Imagine we do pull back to not 12 cents, but 13 cents. Let's just say we go to 13.1 cents. That 11x turns into a 13x. That 26x turns into a 30x, right? It adds to the multiple. So I think if you can wait, if you can sit on your hands and don't FOMO here, you can really make the most out of this opportunity. I know it kind of feels like it's not an opportunity. What do you mean opportunity? We're up 70% from the low. This isn't an opportunity. But in the grand scheme of things, the grand scheme of this, I don't know why that happened. This overall trend here, we are at some of the lowest price action. We're at some of the lowest levels. Right? Buying here is like buying right here before we took off. Right? It's a great opportunity. But I think if you wait, this opportunity will get greater. It'll be more great. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I don't really have a whole lot to go off of other than that. Let's look at the all-time history real quick. We can look at the weekly time frame. Will it let me? Is this the all-time history? Do we have anything else? Is it this one? Edge D? It is this one. Okay, there's actually more history on Coinbase. Wow, okay. That's okay. Weekly time frame indicators. I mean, we're bouncing off the 40. Stochastics are bearish, but that's typically, you are bearish at the lows, you're bullish at the highs. So, I mean, we're at a point to turn around here. Not a whole lot of signs going on, not a whole lot of stuff worth noting there. Just real quick, I want to see this too. Low to high. Kind of an odd interaction there, but I like that we're closing back above the golden ratio. At any rate, 1 day, 7 hours left. Even if we do get some volatility today and we pull back, it'd be nice if we can close some weeks above 13.7 cents. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Edge has a lot of potential built up in it, and I think it can see a lot more than what we've even talked about here. But first things first, let's start breaking out of this range more. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.